So for me, I was still very much in the corporate world. And one day, my boss called me in for what I thought was a meeting for me to bring him up to speed with what has been happening. But by the end of that meeting, I was jobless. You know when someone calls you in for a meeting and you walk in and immediately the look on their face gives like there's something wrong. And I'm thinking, okay, I came in with a smile, right? But right at the door, my smile faded because I could see my boss's face like something was wrong. But I couldn't put a finger on it. So I just stood there by the door, and eventually he asked me to sit down. I sat down, and he said, Nikki, there's been some changes going on here at work, reshuffling and all of that, and we've been thinking how to tell you, but there's no better way to tell you than your role is no longer needed. And those words hit me like a truck on high speed. Stay with me, there's somewhere I'm going with this story. And so, that is how I lost my job. But I did not anticipate retrenchment. I did not see retrenchment coming. So for me, I knew I'd signed a permanent contract of employment. I thought I would work, for as long as I could with that particular organization. And my boss used to tell me plans like 5 years ahead of time of what we would do this, we'll grow the business this way, this was what's going to happen. And one day, it all came crashing. And so, to say that day and the weeks and the months, even the years that followed were some of the most difficult time of my life would be an understatement. As a single mom, I thought if there was anyone who had no right to lose their job, it was me. Part of it was the pain talking, right? In fact, I had a few people in my mind where I'm like, you've been here 10 years, you've been here 5 years, I'm just coming in now, why me? Like I had a couple of people in mind I thought deserved being retrenched, not me, But as time went on, this pain and frustration translated at some point into some sort of curiosity where I started asking the questions. When organizations let so many people go, how do they continue to thrive? In my case, have you ever had an experience where you buy a car and suddenly you start seeing that particular mark of car everywhere? Right. Even with the smartwatch, I didn't know how many people are wearing smartwatches until I started wearing one, or saw it everywhere. But in my case, because I had been retrenched, I started hearing news about retrenchment all the time. On the news, I would hear about it on the radio, I would hear about it, things that never stood out to me before. And because I was hearing a lot about this news, I started asking the question, so how do organizations continue to thrive when they let go so many people? In fact, I wanted to know how my boss was coping without me. So I went on Google, how do organizations continue to thrive when they let go so many people? And I typed that question. Thank God for Google.